To our other major headline tonight, the developments in the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and the embattled Fulton County District Attorney prosecuting that case, FANI Willis. Trump's legal team presenting new phone records, casting doubt on Willis's testimony about a relationship she had with the man she appointed special prosecutor to investigate Trump. His name, Nathan Wade. The Trump team had asked the judge to disqualify Willis from the case. They say she appointed Wade because the two were romantically involved and that Willis benefited financially from her then-boyfriend's appointment through vacations they say he took her on. In the contentious hearing last week, both Willis and Wade took the stand vehemently denying all of those allegations. They say their relationship did not start until after his appointment in November of 2021 and that they split the cost of almost all of their trips together. Wade did say he visited Willis at her home before his appointment, but that it was not very often.
Let's rock on the mic. What's up, everybody? And you are listening to the best of the Media Mike Radio Show. I am your host, the Media Mike Speaks, sponsored by New Justice Media, where we are the voice of the everyday citizen. The time is now 18 minutes past the hour here in the Lone Star State. So let's get to it before it's too late. All right, good people. Once again, FANI Willis has now found herself back into the spotlight. She's been thrust back into the spotlight with new evidence has turned up. She, as an attorney, knows the more evidence keeps coming up, the worse it gets. The more evidence that turns up, the worse it gets. Now, she's trying to fight this new evidence, but I'm sorry, it just casts more doubt on her claim that she's innocent. Because now she must prove herself before the judge, her voters, and the whole country. New evidence has come out. Cell phone data, records. Trump's lawyers presented an affidavit describing cell phone records they were likely used to try to prove the prosecutors lied about when they began a romantic relationship. The Georgia election racketeering case against Donald Trump and his allies hit another potential stumbling block on Friday when the court was provided with cell phone records that appeared to show the prosecutor Nathan Wade made at least 35 visits to the district attorney FANI Willis' neighborhood before she hired him. You see, if this was all innocent, they could have said that in the first place. They're casting too much doubt, you see, into the minds of the people that their story is credible. And she knows this. I find it quite odd that people aren't protesting. I find it quite odd. I don't see any marches in the streets. I don't see any picket signs. I don't see any of those things about justice for FANI Willis. I don't. Now, it could be, but I don't see that. It goes to show you there's no support. What I see right now is that first, she's being tried in the court of public opinion, number one, and she doesn't have a lot of public support other than the church, which I do believe that was a sham. She tried twice. The second time they gave her an award, totally, utterly ridiculous, but I didn't see any other support from that. She's trying, but it's not working because I do believe they know she's guilty. Now, these documents entered by attorneys for the former president raised new questions about the timeline of the romantic relationship between the prosecutor's ties that defense lawyers claim created conflict of interest that hangs over the entire case, as well as whether they were entirely truthful when testifying about their relationship while under oath. If they find out this to be credible, if the judge doesn't believe FANI, that's perjury. That's not good. And if they find her to be untruthful, her credibility is gone. It's already it's diminishing now, but it's really gone. We can't trust anything come out your mouth. Willis and Wade were questioned before a judge last week about their relationship, including whether several holidays and Caribbean cruises they took were paid for jointly or by Wade alone after he had been hired by Willis, which could suggest a romance incorporating kickback scheme. Willis claims she repaid Wade in cash. We already know how that went. That was stupid. If defense lawyers can show that Willis and Wade were a couple before she hired him in November 2021, they claim their relationship began in early 2022. It may constitute a violation of state anti-nepotism rules and raise questions of whether they committed perjury during earlier testimony. That could jeopardize the entire criminal case Willis is pursuing that accuses Trump and a number of co-defendants of illegal election interference in Georgia's 2020 elections. If Judge Scott McAfee, who is overseeing the case, decides that she and Wade should be removed, it would all but guarantee that the case will not go forward before the 2024 presidential election. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter anyway. It's all bad. It does not matter. It's all bad. And everybody, a lot of people don't seem to understand that versus the ones that do. And she needs, you know what? She's going to just go down with the ship. She's too far in now. Emotions all over the place. And I think, it's not going to end well. In their court filing, Mr. Trump's lawyers in Atlanta presented an affidavit describing phone records obtained through a subpoena that they said showed more than 2,000 calls between FANI T. Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney, and Nathan Wade, the lawyer she hired to help oversee the case in the first 11 months of 2021. The original affidavit alleged that the two exchanged roughly 12,000 text messages over that period. But later on Friday, the lawyers for Mr. Trump released a corrected version of the affidavit that removed the reference to 12,000 text messages and instead claimed that just under 12,000 interactions occurred between the two lawyers. The updated affidavit defined interactions as including voice calls and text messages. Well, like the old saying goes, if you're going to dig a grave from someone, you better dig two. One for them and one for you. And I guess she didn't understand that. She's from California. I guess they don't refer to phrases like that out west. But here in the South, yeah, we take those to heart. Apparently, the Trump team hired a private investigator to access phone records and, wait for it, it is claimed or alleged that this information, Fani's and Wade's phone numbers were given to this private investigator to access the text messages by people who worked in the DA's office. It appears that Fani and Wade are short on allies and are being surrounded by those who dislike them. Not good, not good. I always say the hard drive to instruments like computers and cell phones, it's like the DNA. It's like DNA, it doesn't lie. Now, my thoughts on this. The judge has two choices. Disqualify Willis and Wade and save some semblance of the legal system. I think so. And his own career at the same time. Or two, support Willis and Wade and lose what little credibility he has left and destroy what little trust the public has in the judicial system. In the old days, when there was a semblance of honor in the legal system, judges and attorneys would recuse themselves for just the appearance of impropriety. Well, Fani and Nathan reached that threshold weeks ago. But it looks like she's going to have to go kicking and screaming. I told you. She's going down with the ship because she has no honor whatsoever. If they committed perjury, the case must be dismissed. Fruit of the poisonous tree. Technology. You gotta love it, people. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
Understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.